Right, we are now live, apparently, on Facebook.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. Well, good evening, everybody. Hello, and welcome to your new favorite podcast. This week we are live for a change, and also for a change, we're not talking to a musician about their song. We're talking to a music reviewer about other people's songs. I'd like to welcome Bo Liebman of the Indie Review, all the
Thanks
way
for having me,
from,
Bernard.
where are you from?
California, United
California.
States.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about the Indie Review and what the motivation behind it is and where you are in that.
Sure. It actually was started by a couple of my friends back in college, and we all went to University of Santa Barbara or California Santa Barbara together, and they formed the site, and we all were huge music fans, and they invited me to start contributing to it. We were pretty unstructured back then. We didn't really have an identity. We were kind of just doing it randomly for fun, and it didn't really end up going anywhere. And just I was kind of the last person even posting on it after a while, so it kind of died off for a bit. And then cut to a few years ago, 2017. I had a time where I just had some extra time on my hand, and I decided I want to bring it back. But having learned a lot more about websites, music sites, whatnot, I decided to really give it more of an identity, kind of decide which direction we're going to go, and just really brand it a little bit more. And since then, we've really just, thankfully, it's just kind of grown and grown and found its audience. We try and really focus on promoting new artists, up and coming artists, people, ones that people haven't heard of.
Hmm.
Still dive into some other, better known artists who we love. Um, the founders of the site, which came back with me for a bit, they've kind of stepped aside, and I've really kind of taken over managing the site. And I brought in some new writers over the last year or two to help just keeping up the content.
Hmm.
But yeah, we really, we saw there's obviously from here in America, you can see the Billboard Top 40, whatnot, and having music playing there. And with that, a lot of the music from kind of artists I love, artists. I mean, I'm a big fan of rock and roll, punk music. I love folk, and I mean other smaller genres, ska, reggae, world music, whatnot. They really weren't getting as much promotion, at least from radio, from mainstream labels. That's always in flux, of course, but I just wanted to really say, shine a light. I love sharing new music with people
Yeah.
and help people find new artists they love too. So I always feel like I've won, a victory if someone who discovered an artist through me is now listening to that artist, seeing them live, supporting them in some way. So really, like I
Okay.
said,
Do you
yeah,
do you
go ahead.
do you play music yourself? Are you a musician?
Uh, I play guitar a little bit. I actually have my guitar right here by my side, but I wouldn't say I'm anything close to being a good musician. I do it a little bit for fun.
Uh-huh.
I've actually, during the quarantine, I started a somewhat jokey Instagram story series called Bo Butchers the Classics, where I'll take a song which I might have learned even that day and just play it live and then add in little captions making fun of myself and taking digs at my poor ability to sing and play. But I love music so much. It's sometimes just cathartic to take a song you love, learn how to play it, see how it's
Yeah.
constructed, and just belt it out.
Yeah. Okay. So, and I mean, just yeah. But you do get a lot of comments on those kind of videos. I mean, this is all for the Indie Review or for your own
Oh,
website.
that's just personal. Those videos are just personal.
Yeah.
It's just for my friends to see. Though occasionally, like I have other people spy in. I actually covered a song by the Gin Blossoms, and I tagged them, and they actually shared it on their post and thanked me for the honor of calling their song a classic, which it of course is. But I wouldn't say
Yeah.
my cover of it deserves any sort of praise. So it's probably the closest thing to something in my singing range that I could
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. But do you find that a lot of artists click, or are they the only person that's actually clicked or commented on your work, or if you
Um,
had other people?
Well, as far as the indie review goes, I mean, we thankfully do get a lot of, the artists,
Yeah.
I mean, submitting their project to us. A lot of them sharing it, thanking us, which has been great. I've actually been able to start dialogue to certain artists that I'm a fan of through it. And sometimes it's just through, interaction with them on social media. I have a few artists I'm big fans of following us, which is always nice.
Yeah.
And we also just find new people online commenting, fans following it, whether via WordPress or via Twitter, Facebook, whatnot. So we said we're just really happy that they can see it and they can help promote themselves through our posts. And I've been able to form some relationships with these artists and just watch them as they've grown and found new followers. There's a local band out here that I'm a huge fan of called Pacific Radio, who I discovered them, I think, just one song via Spotify, and I discovered another song of theirs called Katie, which I absolutely loved.
Yeah.
And I covered that, and they were thankful, and I saw them live and gave them more coverage. And since then, I've seen that song of theirs, just blow up on Spotify, become by their most streamed track. And they've said they're still local bands, still trying to work hard and get their music heard and out there. But I've just been glad to be a part of helping them be discovered and hopefully get the word out about them to people outside of California.
Okay, cool. And do they do you? How do you find bands then? What do you do? Do you go actively looking for?
Absolutely. I mean, thankfully, I get tons of submissions via my email, my Bo at the Indie Review. .com. So a lot of PR and labels are always sending me emails, and I don't even have time to actually go through them all. Like, I think I have currently 1,000 in my inbox. Thankfully, now that I have a few more people on our team writing, I can share some of those with them to see if have them listen and cover things they like. But it's along with that, it's finding things via Spotify playlists. Back when we could actually go see live music, it was
Yeah.
going to live shows and discovering bands that way, which is of course my favorite thing to do. For a little while, there was a small venue called the Mint out here that during quarantine was still doing some little outdoor live shows. Just really small local artists, but I heard one artist there I really liked and ended up covering them the next week. So it's really a variety of ways, and sometimes just through friend recommendations.
Mm.
Uh, Though usually instead of my group, I'm the one recommending songs to other people.
Yeah, yeah. And other the artists, if you're going to go and see a lot of people live, then it kind of limits the range in which you can actually, which the geographical location of the bands. Do you also kind of have bands, reviewed bands that are all over the world, or?
Absolutely. I actually we have a series called World Watch, or it's an
Mhm.
article series where we focus specifically on bands outside of the United States, Canada, trying to do outside the UK, really looking for bands from countries all over. It doesn't have to be songs in English, just things that we love. So
Mhm.
it's found artists in Thailand, artists in